Hey Stampers, welcome to Brandy's Cards. So I've got a great project for you today. It's super simple. It's using the penned and painted stamp set from Stampin' Up. So I really liked this stamp set. Let me show it to you. Here it is. This is the stamp set, penned and painted. Now I really liked it because I love the two-step stamps. The fact that I can take these images right here and stamp them first, and then I can, well actually let me take that back. First I would stamp my, my outline, and then you stamp your pretty, the lighter color in one of these. And then you've got the third stamp, which really kind of pops it and adds a little bit more dimension. So that's what I love about my two-step stamps. They are fantastic. So this is the card that we're gonna make today. And so here you can see the color at the bottom is Pink Pirouette, and the color on the top is Melon Mambo. And we've got a little bit of Daffodil Delight on the inside. And then I did some Old Olive here. I love the dots at the bottom. So it was just a fun, easy card, and I think that you will enjoy making this card as well. Now, if you don't have the penned and painted stamp set, that's okay. It is on the Stampin' Up! Retired list. I know I just want to cry, but that's okay. It's bittersweet. That means there's some great things to come. So the new Stampin' Up! Catalog will launch on June 1st of 2017. And so I'll be mailing, if you've made a purchase with me in the past 12 months, I'll be mailing you a catalog on May 10th. So you should get that May 10th, 2017. So you should get that in between May, just a few days after that and all the way up until June 1st. So I'm excited. I can't hardly wait to share it with you, but unfortunately I can't show it to you quite yet. But the penned and painted stamp set is still available, and Stampin' Up! Is guaranteeing their stamps. I think it's until the second week of May. So you still can get this stamp set. Now, with that said, if you're watching this video after the new catalog starts, there are a couple of stamp sets inside the new catalog that are fantastic. So please don't worry. You'll have ample opportunity to still make this card. And I also have a fun project to show you at the very end. So I hope you stick with me because I can't wait to share it with you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This is super easy. I have Whisper White is my base. I'm just gonna fold it in half. All right, and then here I've got Old Olive, Melon Mambo, and some more Whisper White. Now I've got all of my stamps mounted just to kind of make it easier and quicker. Let's start out with our stem. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp my stem, just like that, perfect. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I've got the outlined image part of the flower, and I'm just using basic black right now. So I'm going to ink that up and I'm going to line it up. That's the beauty of photopolymer. I can line it up perfectly with my stem, and that turned out great. Now I'm going to go ahead and, now this card does not have an extra flower popped up on top, but I'm going to go ahead and do that for you today. So I'm going to stamp another flower right here on a scrap piece of paper. Now let's move along to our stem. So here is the outline, actually I shouldn't say stem, our leaves. These are the outline of our leaves. We're gonna ink up our leaves and stamp them right there, and it turned out great. Now I'm gonna go ahead and stamp them again on my scrap paper. Now that just gives me the opportunity to cut them out if I want to and pop one up off my card. I certainly don't have to, but I love options. All right, so here is that second step I showed you. This is kind of the full flower. It kind of covers the most space. So what I'm going to do is ink that up. Oh, and let me show you this while I have it here. So here is the first one that we did, and you can see down here at the bottom there's like a little triangle. Well, you'll see that triangle right here on this one too. Well, that gives me the opportunity to line it up. It makes it easier to line up. So that's what I love. So here's Pink Pirouette. I'm inking it up really good. And I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp it on the one that I have here for my scrap first. It was in front of me. And then we'll come over here to our other flower, and it turned out great. So we're all done with that one. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take the Melon Mambo. Now, so this is the third stamp, and I love this one because it adds all of my, like my definition. It really pops it. Watch this. So we're gonna set it right there, stamp it, kabam, it looks great, right? So I love the way that just, so can you imagine you can play with, you know, yellows and maybe pumpkin pie, you know, some corals. So you can really have fun with these two-step stamps. That's why I love them. All right, so now I'm gonna go and move into my full leaf. And you know, I personally would say, because unless you wanted to grab a darker green, I felt like I had a lot out here. I have Old Olive. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp my leaves off. So that way I can get a lighter leaf here on my actual card. And then what I can do is I can stamp the third leaf, which gives it a little bit more dimension, and you can kind of see, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to stamp it off again and stamp it on my scrap paper here to my left. And now here's the third leaf. It's just kind of this little shape that matches the inside. Stampin' Up! Does such a great job at giving us the opportunity to, you know, really highlight you know, some of these detailed areas. It really just makes it beautiful. So there you go. See how that just totally popped it out there? Fantastic. So let's do it on our scrap piece. There we go. Love it. All right. The very last piece here is the stem. And so we stamped, as you can see, we stamped the stem and we have the outline, but we need the you know, the actual color of the stem on there. So that worked great. So we only need one of those. All right, so our flower is done. We're gonna set that aside just for a second. And then we're gonna move over here to our Whisper White piece of paper. Now you might be wondering what the sizes and the dimensions are. And I just wanna tell you not to worry. All you have to do is go to brandyscards.com, and you'll notice in the navigation bar across the top, you'll find a little, you'll find the word videos. Click on videos and there'll be a drop-down menu of all of my videos. You'll be able to see this card as the thumbnail, as the project, or you can look for Penned and Painted. So it will be easy for you to find. Click on that, you'll be able to see the entire written tutorial for this card. Sizes and dimensions in it all, okay? Or if you have any questions, definitely feel free to email me, and I'm more than happy to answer those for you. All right, so these dots, you guys know I love backgrounds, so these dots, I love these little dots. So I'm gonna ink them up in Old Olive. Now I have found that my Old Olive is pretty juicy and it's pretty dark right now. So I'm gonna just stamp off my dots, and I'm gonna stamp right here along the bottom edge. These dots are so easy to use, and they make some fabulous backgrounds. So I'm gonna just ink it up one more time, and I have one more dot to stamp. There I go, so that worked out perfectly. Now I am gonna clean my dots because, oh, how many of you have done this? I actually made about, well, I don't know, 100 of these cards because I liked them so well for my thank you notes for last month. And I'm working on sending those out right now. And one of the stamps in here is this little dot. Can you believe I think I threw it away? Now, how many of you have done that? Well, you know, I have to tell you that Stampin' Up! Does not replace pieces of a stamp set. So I'm kind of out of my little dot for the center of my flower, but there's always ways to improvise. And if I needed to, you know what I would do is grab a pencil and just dot it in my, you know, the eraser, and just dot it in my stamp pad if I didn't have dots, and I would just tap it on the top of my flower. But the fact is, I actually do have these dots, so it kind of saved me there. So I don't really have to worry about doing that. But actually, instead of the yellow stamp pad, let's just use the marker. But at first I thought, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? But anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and add some yellow to this little guy here and just see if we can't just stamp this on our flower and give it some pop here in the center. So there we go. Perfect, it worked out great. But again, you could use the pencil eraser if you had to. Just make sure it's clean. You don't want to stick it in your stamp pad if it's not clean, right? All right, so here's the next one. So now we have Old Olive. So what I like to do is put my Old Olive down on top. And so now I kind of have the placement, right? And then I take my Melon Mambo, which is for my flower, and I kind of position that, and I'm like, okay, great. So this is where my sentiment's gonna go. Now, the good thing with this green is that there's 4 chances. You've got this piece, and then you've got what's under Melon Mambo, and then you can flip it over, and you have 2 more chances to get a straight sentiment. Trust me, I have used all 4 at some times. So, but at any rate, I do have, so let me show you the sentiments that we're using today. Greatest greetings, super cute. There's lots of fun ones in here. But you know, my favorite was the sending smiles, because like I said, this was for my team and also for my customers. And so I just wanted to send some smiles. But I did stamp this one originally upside down because I didn't put the sticker on it. So I recommend just stamping it to make sure you have it straight. Okay, so here we have, we're going to ink it up. You can see that I have my placement here. I think I'm happy with how everything is placed, and I'm going to stamp my sending smiles right there under my Melon Mambo, and it turned out great. Had it not, we could just flip it over and try again, right? Or we can move our, move our Melon Mambo and then do it underneath there. So 4 chances. I think y'all can get it in probably 1 or 2, but if not, it is nice to have that opportunity. So I've just used some Tombow glue. I'm gonna just glue this piece down, and I have my sending smiles on here. Now I'm gonna take and glue my flower to my Melon Mambo. Now, if you guys stick around, I can't hardly wait to show you the soapbox that I made for my Stampin' Up! Member site. So if you are a member of Brandy's Cards, or if you have my Getaway magazine, thank you so much, and I hope that you're enjoying the member site and the video tutorials that I've shared there. I just had so much fun designing those, but I have a box that I made for my team. So when we went to the Stampin' Up! On Stage event, sponsored event, I wanted to make a little something special for my team members, and I was using this stamp set, and it just kind of hit me, so I can't hardly wait to show it to you. So it will be available to my members on my members site. So hang tight and let me show you what that looks like. So I did just put some Stampin' Dimensionals down, and I'm just pulling off the little stickies, and we're just going to center that right there. Oh my goodness, isn't that beautiful? It just pops beautifully, and it just says spring and happiness all over. That's why I like the sending smiles sentiment. Now I am gonna go ahead and cut this out. Again, this card is perfectly beautiful without a popped up flower, but I just thought I would show you, kind of how to add a little bit of dimension. Again, I think I've mentioned this before. As I cut out my flower, am I really worried about having white around it? Absolutely not. It's going to be on top of the white, so you can't really tell anyway, and not to mention some of the stamp from the second stamp is kind of outside of the outline, so it works. It really is okay. One thing I like to do is just kind of cut in on the lines. Do you see that? So this is the petal here, and so I just kind of cut in on these black lines. And I don't cut on the line itself, but I cut on the outside of it. So that way, what I can do is I'll show you. It's kind of a fun little trick to kind of give it a little bit of dimension. So here we go. What I'm going to do is take a mini glue dot. Why a mini glue dot? Well, because I just want the center stuck down, and I don't really want the pop in the center. I want to pop the leaves. So I always like to offset it, right? Because that way, you can see the pretty leaves underneath. I have Stampin' Dimensionals here, and I'm just going to pick 2 leaves. That's right. So I'm just going to pick, because if I put the Stampin' Dimensional in the center, well then the whole thing will be like popped up. But I want it to have dimension under a couple of the leaves. So here we go. I'm going to put one under this big guy right there. And then how about we put one under maybe this one? It doesn't really matter, quite honestly. All right, there you go. So see how pretty that looks? And it really just kind of gives it some lift. It gives it some great dimension. So, well, that is my Sending Smiles card. Now, before you go, because you've been so patient, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Let me show you this one. I really couldn't decide which way I liked it better. So this is one without the green underneath with a silver enamel shape. I really loved that as well. So, you know, just play with it. As you can see, this one doesn't have the popped up flower in the center, and it's still just as beautiful. So there's a couple of options. Now let me show you what I made for my team. I was so excited when this came together. So now I'm going to show you the one first that I kind of messed up the lid, and I have since refined it, and it turned out great. So let me move those out of the way. So here it is. Oh, and it smells so good too. So this is the same in pink as we did, as I did on the card. And you can see here we've got the flower. Everything is exactly the same. I've got a belly band. Oh, and check this out. Yes, I stamped the box, before I put it together. So and that is the outline of the flower. So let's slide the belly band off. Now again, this one is about 1/4 of an inch off all the way around. This was my first go at it. And I honestly, it didn't bother me. It kind of is what it is. It's a handmade gift. But I did refine it for my members on my Getaway website. So if you're a member on Brandy's Cards and you've purchased my Getaway membership, there is a refined version, and I'm going to show you that I did it in blue as well. So check out these little dots. Yes, those are the dots on the card. See that? How cute is that? So you kind of have that accent. Now you guys ready for the inside? Yay, look at that. Oh, I was excited about this. Now, I didn't have a chance to stamp a little tag, but if you do this project, stamp a little tag that says "for you" or "you're the best" and stick it right here on the top. But this is the tissue paper, and I stamped my tissue paper so it matched my box, it matches my card, and the flower on the top, right? You open it up, and I've got some absolutely fabulous soap. Now, this soap is my favorite. It's kind of like a lavender or some eucalyptus. It's from Whole Foods, and oh my gosh, it is like heavenly. But anyway, I just had so much fun making this project and sharing it with my team. I think they were surprised to find the soap, and it just smells so lovely when you give it to them, and they don't even know what's in it yet. All right, so let's go ahead and put our belly band back on. All right, that's perfect. Now let me show it to you in blue, because this is actually the tutorial that will be on the member site. So see there, isn't that beautiful? So that is in blue. Now I don't have the soap in there yet, nor have I stamped the box or actually, you know what? I do have a stamped box up there. Would you mind grabbing that? This one is the refined lid box. This was me working on the lid only, right? Thank you. But here, it is stamped in blue. My wonderful assistant helping me out. I so do appreciate it. So here we go. So this again is before I refined the lid, and this is in blue. See, look how pretty that is. I even stamped the inside of the box. Sometimes it's just those fun details that people go, holy cow, that is so cool. But anyway, so this was the first lid, and this is the second one. Yay! Pretty cool. I was really proud when this lid came together. So you'll just have to check that out. I refined the whole thing today. Check that out. Pretty cool, right? So this was the first one. And sometimes it's just trial and error, right? But anyway, we're going to go ahead and put our belly band back on. And I'll put my belly band back on my first one that I showed you without the stamp. Now maybe you don't like the box stamped. That's okay. You certainly don't have to. But I did the same kind of trick here with this as I did with the card that we just made. Stuck some Stampin' Dimensionals behind my flower. Turned out beautifully. All right, so that is my project for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Again, the Penned and Painted stamp set will be available until the second week in May of 2017. Stampin' Up! Does guarantee it. It is on the retired list, but please don't worry. If you're watching my video later than May, the third week in May, the new catalog will be out June 1st, 2017, and there are some two-step stamps in there, and I think you'll have plenty of options to make this project. Okay, and if you would like the information on this fun little soapbox, please visit brandyscards.com and you can take a look at how to become a member with my Getaway magazine and all the other tutorials that are available. So I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for your business. I appreciate you greatly, and I hope that you have a blessed day. Bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by.